Hey yo, this is Addiction00, and I would love to say that I'm like a month late with this video because I just played this Unitrof so much and I just know the ins and outs of everything. I can give the most awesome tips and guides and whatnot ever, but that would be a complete lie. And since I don't want it to be a complete lie, whether or not the reason, it's more than a month late. But in any case, I'm finally going to give it a try with the Unitrof. They're pretty much treasure hunters that have a big emphasis on prospecting or treasure and whatnot. So let's just get into the game with the character I have here. Sunlag Spike. So you can already hear how out of practice I am in words and blah. Okay, so let's see what we have to work with as a treasure hunter that's perpetually old Unitrof or Enutrof. Not quite sure how to say it. Pronunciation. So they work with water, fire, and earth. The water spells are around trying to make the enemy drop an additional pouch, and some things can cause additional damage, and some things just give you a chance to get slightly more items if you really want to find more, items in general, because sometimes the drop rate in this game makes you want to pull your hair out. So I'll probably explain some basics here, just so I remember to put them into play once I actually get into a fight. It's just more for my own memory's sake, so bear with me for a minute. So cutting is a very basic water spell. It's very cheap at 3 AP. The higher it gets leveled, the higher you give them the broke status. Once they have the broke status is when you can use another move. Well, I'll get to that one just two more down the line. Rascalry is like an even cheaper ranged version of cutting, so you can try to make them drop a pouch from a safe distance away, but you also have to use a movement point and 2 action points instead of just 3 action points. Purge is what you use when they actually drop a pouch. I'm probably explaining it because I didn't go water with this character. I probably won't drop a pouch if they have a chance, if I even do use it. So if they do drop a pouch, you can use Purge on it, and there's no line of sight, which is fine, so you can get it from a distance away behind stuff. Once you use it on a pouch, you have a chance of making it explode, which means you'll lose the item, and it'll do a little bit of damage in that little cross area of effect. Or the pouch will grow and you'll get even more items, but if you do it on a big bag, it always explodes, so you can only upgrade a bag once. Text is what you use on an enemy once they're broke. It's a very powerful spell, but also very costly at 5 AP, and not too much of a high range, but it is used for extra damage once you've already emptied the enemy's pockets. Refinement is like the ultimate water spell at 6 AP and 1 Wakfu point. Not too much range either, but this is when you don't really care about what they're holding. You pretty much explode what they're dropping, and it inflicts 1 times the damage or depending on the level of the item that's destroyed. So if you're really having a hard time with like a monster and they might be holding like a rare item, you can possibly do quite a bit of damage here. Also, of course, since you explode what they're holding, you'll inflict the broke status. Okay, let's see if I can safely get out here. Probably not. Okay, phew, that was close. Had to hide in my bag because the Riktus was coming. I didn't want to risk getting PK'd out of nowhere at this time. So I guess let's try to apply it in a fight. Since there's only groups of 1 here, that should be easy enough. So yes, the water branch will come first. Like I said, it probably won't work because I didn't do water, but it's worth a try. So cutting, just a close range water spell. But of course I didn't drop a pouch because I didn't do water. So or just because I'm unlucky. And Rascalry, since it's a long range spell, you can't use it next to you, so I'm gonna have to move. Thankfully it doesn't have much lock. And then I use it on the men. It's a bit more powerful than cutting as well, so it's usually the more safer option, but you also get rid of your movement while you do that. Purge is even longer range, so you can't use it even if you're that close. So I'm gonna have to wait for that. Purge is a very weak spell usually, unless maybe you want to purposely use it to explode bags. It's very cheap though at 2 AP, so you can just apparently throw a whole bunch of snowballs at them. Okay, next one is Tax at 5 AP. It only deals around 5 hit points if it's not broken. I didn't make it drop an item, so it's pretty weak right now. But you just throw a giant snowball in their direction. Pretty much. And since I didn't make it drop an item, Refinement will probably come in handy. So that's how it works. Alright, so I should probably just hurry up and finish this fight, so I'll be right with you in a minute. Hi again. So this video is probably going to not be very good right off the bat, because as I was expecting, which is why I hid in the bag, because a Riktus was around, and as expected, as soon as I got out of the fight, once I said I was going to finish the fight, they were waiting around to kill me, and now I have to wait. So I'm just going to do the rest of them on the Scarecrow, and hopefully you guys will understand what I'm talking about. I just got a few more seconds to go, so let's just see what the next branch is, and I can hopefully explain it from here. So next branch is Fire, and they work pretty well with Mines, which is a Unitrof's mechanic in the passives, which I'll show last, like I usually tend to do. Scarecrow might be a little bit hard because I'll probably kill it in one turn. Maybe I should try Pee-wees instead. They run away too much. Alright, well, either way, might as well do it. Fire isn't that strong, but anyway. Burning is probably one of the most longer ranged ones. It doesn't even fit into this map. It goes so long range, but it can't be cast like right in front of you. And you also set yourself and your little mole buddy, which you can do down there, which I'll probably do in a little bit. Sorry, I got all discombobulated after all that. I can't focus. So yeah, if you were to do the fusion, it's only line range of sight, and you set yourselves, I think, usually on fire, like in the flaming attribute, and you also give them the burning stats effect, which deals damage regardless of if you're on fire or not. But if you scald them, that's when you're on fire, if they're next to you, you do extra damage that way. So yeah, I'm going to try and go to Pee-wees. This probably isn't going to work, because I can't get PK'd here, as far as I know. Wow, there are gold sellers here? That's a new thing. Alright, so let's just go into this one and finish it off. The rest of the skills anyway. Hopefully. Alright, so what I got next? This one I might not be able to show unless it's just... Oh, okay. I just gotta see... okay. Well, Meteor, you don't need a line of sight. It can be up to 3 tiles away. If you cast it on a mine, which you see here, the sparkly gems, because a passive I put in lets me detect a certain amount of mines during the fight. If you cast it, it has a bigger area of effect, but won't do anything because nothing's there. It also has slightly higher damage. It's a very cheap spell at only 2 AP. So it's if you're moving the mines around, or if you just happen to have a good one, it can be pretty good to stack up with that. Next one you have is Ember. 2 AP, 1 movement point, not very far range, and a very interesting area of effect. So you can do pretty much enemies 3 around you, just won't do the one corner left. It's fairly strong, but it also causes extra damage if there's a mine in the area of effect, but there isn't. So I'm just gonna hit them a couple times, or the only one I can hit. I'm just gonna wait for them to peck at me for a little bit. This is when actually the Ember would work, though, with the area of effect. So let's actually show off the area of effect real quick. So I can pretty much hit all of them since they're surrounding me except for that one area. Still won't get the extra damage from the mine, but I don't think I can do... Okay, I can do this one. Fire Damp Explosion is one that can scald, so if you use that and Fusion, you can do extra damage if they're right in front of you at their next turn. They really fixed this spell from last year or so. Before it was like very long range, you can cast it anywhere, so it was a little bit too easy to get a strong move in. So here they changed it so you can only do it diagonally. But if you happen to hit a mine in that area, the area of effect will be widened a lot and also have increased damage. And this next one is Hot Magma. It's 6 action points and 1 Wakfu point. It's a fairly strong fire spell, and you also get if there's a mine in the area of effect, it deals an additional 5 or so hit points per mine in the area of effect. Unfortunately, I'm just short of it, but it's still strong enough to get rid of it anyway. However, after you use that spell, it destroys the mine, but I believe you can find more mines if you use your little, Dreller. I keep saying it like Deller, I don't know why. If you use your little mole friend to find some more. Let's get into another fight and go with the Earth one. That's the one I mained the most, so I might be able to hopefully do this without taking too long. Well, it depends how much they're going to run away, because it's so spread out here. Okay, so the first one is called Killer Spade. Decent-ish range at about 3 tiles away. Very cheap with no additional side effects. It's just 3 AP, basic damage Earth spell. I gotta wait for them to come. So, mostly the Earth branch, other than Killer Spade, deals with stealing away movements, or taking away the opponent's movement. For example, Deadly Night Spade is 3 action points and 1 movement point, slightly better range, actually a lot better range, or whatever than Killer Spade, and once you hit them with it, you take away 1 movement point, so it's harder for them to get away. But since you're also getting rid of your movement points, you're not going to be able to get away much. Once you get to Deadly Night Spade and onward of Earth spells, each one has an additional effect based on a different status you'll pretty much unlock for people who want to main Earth, I believe, called a Delzerker, and I'll probably get to that once I show off all of the spells in Unitrof form. So in Unitrof form, Shovel Kiss, you steal 1 additional movement point from them, as well as moving around like that. Let's just do this. Shady Shovel is very close range. It's not too much of a strong spell, but you also deal an additional movement point if something's getting too close to you. It's different for the Delzerker mode. It steals levels of hyper movement, which an enemy gets once you steal too much movement points from them. It's pretty much the resistance to stealing more movement from them. So you'll pretty much be stealing hyper movement, so you can continue to steal movement from them once you go back to Unitrof form. And the very last spell, fairly long range, high cost-ish, one called Shovel Shaker at 5 AP. You can hit it from the tile you cast it on and 3 more tiles away. I always get confused with like where to aim it, and since my little Dreller isn't high level, I can't show you with the restricted movement he has, but if a Dreller is at the end of the casting point, it'll actually cast again. So it pretty much goes back and forth for additional damage. Kind of hard to execute, but if you can do it, it's really awesome. So now let's actually show you some of the Unitrof specialties. First, I guess I gotta find some more birds or plant some. Oh, brother. Oh, there we go. So the main thing is phone a friend, which you summon your little Dreller. Mine's only level 1, so I can't summon him too far away. The higher you level it, the farther away you can summon him, and also his appearance will change and he'll go like mature along the way. And he'll also be able to move more for you and dig up mines. I don't want them to move away from me, so I'll just use the Delzerker specialty right away. And here's where they change. Some spells become significantly more powerful, like the Deadly Night Spade. but everything you do costs movement points. All of your action points get converted to movement points, so you have to be careful with your movement and your attacks. But every time you move, you get a certain percentage of damage bonus. So if you're able to move carefully and plan it out, you can get pretty strong. So Shovel Kiss only does it from on the second tile away, and if there's any allies in close range, it should have a chance to give them 1 movement point. So it's mostly helping allies that are close around your target. And even though it's cool to get all this extra movement, if you don't attack while you're in this form, you'll lose it. Even though it's not very costly if you max it out, I have it maxed out so it costs nothing. So I only have to use like essentially 1 Wakfu point since I had to summon the little Dweller guy. Killer Speed, as you saw, it's still basic, but you can only do it right in front of you, because being the Delzerker, you significantly close off your range. And even if you use this, the 2 AP are just converted to movement points, so it's still fine to use that. I think that's still, yeah, it's only still right in front of you. Shady Shovel is also still right in front of you, and it costs 5 movement points. Steals more hyper movement. Killer Spade is very basic, doesn't do anything still, but it's just still a lower cost one at 3 movement points. Usually the ones later increase in movement points cost because they would have been higher cost with AP combined, I guess. I don't think I can use it. Oh, crud. Okay, so just use that, so I attack it, then I'll use the next one. Okay, so Shovel Shaker still, Shovel Shaker is like 5 movement points, you still more hyper movement, and damage is just increased for the Delzerker, but this one you can use it and hit like 2 enemies in a line. So yeah, I think that Delzerker is pretty essential if you want to main the Earth branch, because you get a lot more power with it, because otherwise they might not be too strong. So let's look at the other specialties like I showed you here. Phone a Friend increases, as I said, as you increase it. It always costs 1 Wakfu point per level, even at max, but you can just summon it from farther away, and it'll have it sometimes gets like more skills to use, and it also has an appearance change, and it can also have more hit points. It also has a lot more agility, so it can move around the battlefield more. So otherwise, the Deller's main purpose is to dig, and also it's the only way you can collect bags that may drop with the water branch, other than Mine Mover. So there's only 2 ways you can collect the pouches, and because I think standing on top of them just breaks them, including enemies. So if an enemy gets to move before you do, they usually tend to walk on top of the bag and break it just to troll you. It's happened, and I didn't want to deal with that. So yeah, little fun fact though, if you max your Phone a Friend to level 9, and so it's an Ancestral Driller that's white, when you use Delzerker, actually your appearance changes as well, and you become like white and stuff. So yeah, you get an appearance change. It would be cool if that you would get more of a stats bonus because you bothered to max 2 of those skills. Excuse me, sorry. Mine Mover is as it says, you just move a mine in play. So one of those little diamond things, I could just use 3 action points and 1 movement point to move it. I can move it farther away if I max it out, and then it'll also significantly reduce the cost, and then I can eventually just move them wherever I want pretty much. At up to 10 range and no line of sight needed. And also, the higher you level it when you move it, it also will give you a bonus of Master Miner, which gives you a bonus to fire damage, but it doesn't stack with bonuses from mines, which I should probably show also doing that. And also, if you max this out, every time you move the mine, regardless of the quality, it'll turn it to a gold mine, which is the highest quality mine, will give you the most damage bonuses and whatnot. Mass Clumsiness is kind of a difficult one to use, I would say. You can just pretty much alter the movement points of everyone on the field, but it's very costly. It costs 5 action points, a movement point, and a Wakfu point at level 1. Level 9, it's a little bit less costly, but we still use pretty much everything at least. And you pretty much increase your chances to harm the enemies and less of a chance to annoy your allies, because it affects everyone. So you just pretty much get rid of 1 movement point on enemies, and then the more you level it, the less of a chance you do on allies as well. Prime of Life is what you use. It never increases or never decreases the cost from 2 action points and 1 Wakfu point. It pretty much just gives you an additional movement point, or 2 additional movement points at least, at max as a Enutrof. I'm probably going to keep saying it like that even if it's incorrect. And once you level up to max, you have a 100% chance of activating a Prime of Life status, which means you cannot be locked the next time you move. So it can be very helpful if you're trying to escape, especially because you get more movement points, and if you use some earth spells to give you even more movement, you're going to be running around all over the place. If you use it as a Delzerker, you just get 4 movement points, so you're pretty much getting 2 bonus ones since you're using 2 movement points to activate it. So yeah, more movement is always good. And passives we have here are Treasure Tracker, which gives you a passive bonus to prospecting, which means you'll get more of a bonus to find stuff after a fight, and you also get 50% prospecting as a damage bonus. And the most damage bonus you can have is 120. So what's interesting is I wonder if this will actually stack with the prospecting bonus you'll get if you stand on mines while you do stuff, which hopefully I'll be able to show in another fight, as I example with the mine mover. And Geology is a passive I have that detects mines around you. I have it at level 5, so it detects 3 mines, and I have a 25% chance of finding a gold mine, and I discover 1 additional mine near me. And of course, as you level it up, you find and detect more mines, and you have a 100% chance of finding a gold mine and discover 4 additional mines near you. So if you really want to use the mines to use damage bonuses or just have a whole bunch of chance at prospecting, that would be pretty good to go with. Faking it is pretty much what it sounds like. They decide to fake having a heart attack, and they're usually going to die from a hit. And the higher you upgrade it, the higher of a chance you have of feigning the KO. And you come back to life 1 turn later, 20% hit points at max. So at least it's something, so you're not out of the fight quite yet. I think it's kind of funny how they have the attitude of it with it. I mean, like how they're pretending to have a heart attack. Oh jeez. And Not Dead Yet, I think works pretty well with the Earth Branch because I started to level it. At least I think so. You get bonus dodge with it, and for each use of a spell that costs movement point, you gain a movement point, and you have a higher chance of getting it, and also higher dodge the more you level it. You can only get it max 3 times in 1 turn though, even at max. And the last one is God Unotrof's Blessing, which probably works more with the Water Branch. You get a 10% chance of getting a gift from the God Unotrof, which is the bonus item at the end of the fight, and a more percentage of a chance of applying the Broke State. So that's pretty much it, and I guess I'll try fighting these guys to show off the Mine Mover, because they have a lot more hit points. Blah, 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 I can't talk. Goodness. Okay, well I'm not near any mines, so of course that's how it goes. You can only use the Mine Mover once you're right on top of it, but since it costs movement point, I can't use it. Oh, brother. So I don't think there's anything I can use, because okay, so I just gotta wait. Okay, so since I'm right on top of it now, I can move it up to here, and you upgrade the quality of the mine as you do that, because now it's a red mine. Blue, red, stuff like that. And I'll just do this because whatever. So yeah, I think that's all I had to show you what the mine's considered, other than the hot magma, which would destruct the mine, but I'm on top of it, so it wouldn't really do much. Let's see if it works when I do it this way. Yep, they got the bonus damage after I did it, but of course since it's destroyed, it's gone. You might be able to dig up more mines when you use your phone a friend. Oh, you're a girl? Had no idea. Well, pardon me. Hey, wait, you dare hit an old lady? Jeez. Well, I guess if to make it a fair fight. Okay. So I guess the other thing I can show is the Prime of Life to get it. It doesn't really have an effect though, you just have to look at your stats and see your extra bonus that you get. Which, since it's only level 1 right now, I only get 1. Because it costs 2 movement points to use in my state right now, and I get 3, so it won't really help too much. So yeah, sorry if I'm a little bit out of order or rambling. It kind of messes me up with random PKs and stuff like that. Anyway, as far as other things here I think I recommend, I probably said it just when talking about all the skills. Probably depends like what element you want. The mines work pretty well with the fire branch, or even with the water branch, because, or at least finding more mines, because then you can get more treasure and prospecting, and as you stay on top of them, oh, that's what I forgot to do. Cripes. Okay. And no mines. Oh wait, here's one. Okay, so roll on top of it to see what it does. I'm on top of this one, so it won't tell me now. But, for example, when you stand on top of it, you get 5% damage from like water and earth and 8% from fire. You get 5 levels of Treasure Hunter whenever damage is inflicted, 10% chance of removing movement points, and 5% extra chance of applying Broke State. So, anytime you do damage, that little icon will pop up and you get more prospecting bonus. And that's what I mean with that one spell or passive that might, I wonder if it activates or gives you a bonus based on that prospecting bonus as well. I'm pretty sure it stays the rest of the fight unless an enemy can somehow get rid of your prospecting bonus. And it works regardless of whatever form you're in, so the more mines around you, the more bonuses you can get. And of course, if you can find a gold mine, because the higher the quality of the mine, the stronger it is, you'll be getting bonuses very quickly. So, as far as I know, I think there's iron, tin, diamond, and gold. I think that's it. Since I'm in here, I might as well at least look at it, so you're not waiting too much longer. As far as stats are concerned, I think it just depends. I always get regeneration, at least with my mess around characters, so I at least get a little bit more to do. If you want them more defensive, or the resistance might be good, or just more hit points for survivability, since you're going to be up close as the Dweller, or the Drell Zerker, at least if you choose Earth, like I did. For the elemental ones, of course, it depends which element you want. I picked all Earth for resistance and damage because I'm mostly doing Earth. You can always do fire or water as well, depending what you want. I mostly got initiative so far just to mess around, but you might want a whole bunch of dodge also, so you can run around however you want. So I don't think a locked Enutrof is going to survive very long. These are getting constant crits. As for this, they can't really do heals, so heals aren't very useful. You can do critical hits and critical damage for more damage. You can get blocked to make them more tanky. At least those are ones I personally like. Resistances from behind and critical resistance, or if you want to be even more kind of tanky, but I would just usually just critical hits because at least you're getting some extra damage bonus. And this one's kind of hard because movement points are just as essential to them, even more so, than action points because so many use movement. So it's pretty much whatever, because the movement points will help the Drell Zerker if you're Earth. Action points will also help Drell Zerker if you're Earth, and action points and movement points always help all around. So it just depends what you want first. So yeah, I apologize if this video was kind of all over the place and very disorganized. I was hoping it would go better than that. So anyway, I guess I better work on that next video. Anyway guys, bye!